Arena Breakout is perhaps the only successful clone of Tarkov, and if it weren't for the mobile controls, the game would have been even more popular. People were discussing this 3 years ago when Arena was just announced. A year passed, then two. The game's popularity grew, but there's not even a whisper about a PC port, and now it's 2024. While Tarkov stagnates and shoots itself in the foot, suddenly the Chinese announce Arena Breakout Infinite, a full PC version, beautiful and free. Is this finally Tarkov's killer? Is everything so rosy? And is it worth playing Arena? Let's figure it out. No matter how hard others try to kill Tarkov, nobody succeeds as well as BattleState Games themselves. Tarkov was lucky to find huge popularity, and of course other developers started to covet a piece of that pie. Moreover, the game has been stagnant for a long time now, mired in a series of scandals and failures. However, despite the emergence of competitors, only a few are barely surviving to this day. The rest are unheard of, and most people wouldn't even remember them. We'll release a separate video about all these so-called Tarkov killers. But here comes Arena Breakout, a phenomenon. The Chinese didn't try to create an extraction shooter set in a world of pink ponies or invent something new. No experiments, no creative approach, just dry calculation. Even in mobile version, the Chinese simply copied the entire Tarkov, overlaid it with a story about some island state called Kimono, simplified the gameplay and improved the interface, and off they went with over 80 million accounts as of August last year. Arena Breakout, like most so-called Tarkov killers, came to take a piece of that very same pie from Tarkov. While it was just a mobile clone, talking about any competition would be inappropriate, but now with a full PC version released, it seems like Arena Breakout Infinite is the one that most will outshine Tarkov. It can be said that the new Arena is some kind of breakthrough in the gaming industry or even in the extraction shooter genre. We still see literally the same Tarkov in a casual package, but the saying in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is a king, is more relevant here than ever. It's enough to do things not perfectly, but just better than your competitor. And while Tarkov itself stagnates, Arena Breakout is something new and shiny. Firstly, Arena significantly simplifies all the complexity of Tarkov. Secondly, it looks and plays like a quality modern game shoot, beautiful graphics, good optimization, and excellent hit registration, and loading times are not 15 minutes but around 20-30 seconds. Yes, the game is much more casual, there is no hardcore survival elements here, but it's not so much about the gameplay itself, as it is about working with interfaces, menus, and small features that enhance the player's experience. You notice it immediately, and after that Tarkov seems even more wooden. For example, healing in Arena happens instantly and affects the entire body. There is no need to dolly an offensive pullout and apply a medical kit 100 times to heal each body part. You press once and gradually heal the whole body. You can cancel any action instantly. Right-click and your character immediately stops healing or eating and pulls out their weapon, instead of slowly and awfully applying the medkit, as if nothing threatens them. Except that reloading still can be cancelled. You don't have to sit in your inventory while loading bullets into magazine. There are no animation, but at least you can walk around and look around while loading. There is automatic sorting of items right away, both in stash and in each bag or rig. Convenient item replacement by dragging one onto another is implemented, and you can even drop excess loot directly from the inventory by bringing it to the edge of the screen. Again, it seems like basic functionality, but in the context of Tarkov it seems like something incredible. For example, what's called presets in Tarkov is quick loadout here, and it's really convenient. The game, based on the equipped weapon, offers magazines and ammo for it. It immediately indicates how many of them are now on the character, how many are in the stash, or you can buy them right here. Here you're also offered food, medicine, and grenades. It's speedy that you still have to choose your gear by yourself, but at least the game frees us from the routine of consumables. And there are plenty more such details. There are also features here that we've been promised in Tarkov for years: grenade delay, gas grenades, gas masks, folding empty backpacks and vests for compact storage, and being stunned by the shots. The raids themselves, for the most part, aren't much different from Tarkov. You go in, shoot some stuff, maybe loot a bit, then get out. But again, there is more emphasis here on gameplay than on hardcore realism or pseudo-realism. For instance, the map marks zones where fights are more likely to happen or where bosses might appear. This helps some players find action, while others can avoid these areas and sneak quietly to the exit. The exits themselves are marked on the map from the start, along with notes about their requirements. Some exits might require payment, while others might force you to leave your backpack behind. Whether the exit is active or not, you only find out upon reaching it, which makes sense. As for shooting, there is honestly not much to praise here. It's clear that the developers tried to copy-paste Tarkov's recoil from 6 months ago. It feels stiff, unrealistic, and uncomfortable. Shooting isn't pleasant, especially if you don't have a collimator sight. However, whether it's because of shorter time to kill or because the game registers all hits, firefights are much clearer and players drops much faster. By the way, the insurance mechanic is interestingly implemented. If you pick any loot from your teammate and take it out of the raid, it immediately returns to your friend. On one hand, you can permanently lend your friend some cool guns, but on the other hand, besides being a convenient and more realistic form of insurance than dropping items in the bushes, it also makes RMT impossible, because you can keep taking the same gun out for your friend every time, but if you buy it outside the game, there is nothing you can do. If you're worried about pay to win, after all, a free-to-play game from giant like Tencent needs good numbers on reports, then your concerns are perfectly valid, and we share them with you. However, based on the experience of the mobile version, if they do the same here, then there won't be any problems. In the mobile version, donations are essentially cheap, but time-stretched alternative to Tarkov editions. If in Tarkov you pay once and forever, get secure case and several gear sets, here you buy cases with a monthly subscription and you'll be paying again and again. Gear sets are bought separately each time and only once, so you can easily lose it all. Also, donations buy more in-game currency and weapon skins. In short, it's pay to win comparable to Tarkov editions, just without the unique beacon call for friend or the armored personal carrier. To be honest, despite its decent gameplay, Arena has one drawback that makes this new and shiny seem cheap and disappointing. Arena lacks soul. No matter how well Arena plays, there is always this lingering feeling of secondariness, a sense of trying to seem rather than be. Okay, interfaces and gameplay moments aside, but the blatant copying of weapons, models, and animations without the even slightest understanding of how it all works and why it's needed. In some island state of Kamona, you'll surely find a Belarusian hunting site PC-06, a Russian shotgun MP-133, and in quotes, a tactical angled grip for fire transfer. Yeah, and so it goes in every show-offy tactical shooter. It's copying just because it's trendy, because it's like in Tarkov, but the authors don't know about trigger discipline. The character waves their weapons with their fingers on trigger and no one cares. Since you ventured into tactics and all that, just please at least understand the basics, because right now you have characters getting muffled while wearing active headphones. They also mindlessly copied the recoil from Tarkov, even though it's unplayable. And the name itself, what's that all about? What is Arena and what does it have to do with anything? Okay, the Stuffiness moment is over. Let's continue. Recently, rumors surfaced that the Chinese developers not only redrawn animations and fully copied gameplay, but outright stole the original code of Tarkov. We'd like to address our stance on this rumor. From the very beginning, it's clear that Arena Breakout is simply a copycat, not an evolution of the genre, not a revisioning of Tarkov ideas, not an attempt to do something unequally better, simply a copy, albeit with more thoughtful game design. From the beginning until now, the game features suspiciously similar animations and some models. At best they were traced, at worst simply stolen. If it's believed that they also stole the code, then it's still disgusting. But it's not a shock from out of nowhere kind of news, it's just further confirmation of dishonesty of Chinese developers. On the other hand, it's interesting to see BattleState Games' reaction, who claimed that their code was indeed stolen. For 3 years the studio wasn't bothered, and suddenly they are so worked up. They angrily properly labeled Arena is a plagiarism on Twitter, and now they're saying, of course, they stole everything, how awful. In 3 years since the announcement of Arena, they could have filed so many lawsuits, but the war is only happening on Twitter and Reddit, oh well. Again, we're not excusing the Chinese developers, even if this dev turns out to be just a claim for BattleState Games. Arena wouldn't suddenly become unique and wonderful, but if they did indeed steal the code, then it's worth noting that Tarkov is written in C#, while Arena is C++, so they were able to rewrite this code for the Unreal Engine 5? And is it really that simple? Dear BattleState Games, maybe you should consider a transition to Unreal Engine 5 then. Should you play Arena Breakout? Honestly, if you're tired of Tarkov stagnation, Arena Breakout Infinite is the best option available. We'll still make a video about action shooters, but in short, Arena is closest thing to Tarkov, and it fixes a ton of its mistakes. It's well optimized, has great graphics and plenty of thoughtful details. And finally, well, it's all free. It's like a relaxed version of Tarkov that's genuinely enjoyable to play. However, if you're looking for hardcore realism and tactical gameplay, Arena might not be for you. If your in-game ping is excellent, it's probably because the server handling the menu is located somewhere in China. You might encounter that annoying mobile-like interface, where you can take a step without encountering a tutorial, or a full-screen menu that you can't skip. But overall, Arena Breakout Infinite, as we have said before, not perfect but pretty good. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe to our channel, and let's discuss Arena Breakout Infinite in the comments. Thanks for watching and see you soon.